Continuing to take our constitutional view of the state questions, Attorney Noble McIntyre, past president of the Oklahoma Association of Justice, helping us out, looking at these from a constitutional standpoint. Now, we have one of the largest constitutions in America, and this one deals with agriculture, state question 777. Why is this on the ballot? What caused 777 to be on the ballot? His proponents saying we've got to protect against something that happened in California, I understand.
It does. California Proposition 2, which came about. I know a lot of people are going to think, why does something happen in California affect Oklahoma? But this is a reaction to that, because Proposition 2 in California was a response to some of the industry that you have, where you have these chicken farms where the chickens are all cooped up in cages and can't move around, dairy cattle which are so tightly compressed they can't lay down, and they said it was animal cruelty. And so they passed by a 60% majority in California that if you're going to have those types of businesses, that an animal that stands has to have enough room to lay down, an animal such as a chicken that lays eggs has to have enough room that they can get up and turn around. They can't be so confined because it's cruelty. And so that passed, and in response to that, California passed right to farm, and now Oklahoma is trying to pass right to farm, which opponents are saying is really a misnomer. Oklahomans already have a right to farm, and really the sole purpose is to, what the supporters are saying, is to allow farmers to defend themselves against unjust rules and unjust laws, whereas the opponents are saying that's not at all true. You already have the right to farm. It's to protect animals.
All right, so on the ballot, the great big ballot here, there's an interesting line in this when it says the law is necessary to protect the state. It says the law you can't interfere with the law unless there's a compelling state interest. What does that mean? Because that appears to be the key in this state question.
That's exactly right. And it's very unusual they would take it to this level, because a compelling state interest and a strict scrutiny review is the same level of protection given to you and to myself and to all citizens for your religious freedoms and for your freedom of speech. And so they're now wanting to come in and say that these companies that say they have a hog farm or a dairy farm or whatever it may be would have the same level of protection that you and I have for our religious freedom. And what's important about that for voters to know is that the ability to overcome a challenge when it's under strict scrutiny at a local ordinance level, they're going to fail about 90% of the time. And so if you have a big company that comes in next to a small town, wants to put in a large hog farm, and there's some effluent going into the water, and you say, wait a minute, as a small town, we don't want the noise pollution, we don't want the smell pollution, and we certainly don't want that effluent in our water, we want to pass some regulations. It will be reviewed under strict scrutiny, and the odds of that community succeeding against that company is very, very low.
All right, this initiative was placed on the ballot by the legislature, but you're saying this takes it out of the legislative process, puts it into the legal system. Hasn't there been a rub between the legislature and the courts?
They have, and that's what is so unusual. Our legislature has demonstrated recently that they want most of the control and the power, and this is actually them giving that up to a level where it would have to all go before the judiciary. So it's unusual that they would do that. So this is a very unusual bill.
All right, Attorney Noble McIntyre, our analyst on all these state questions. You can see this again at news9.com/yourvotecounts. See this about 777 and all of our state questions.